everybody. Welcome to this week's Clear Path Leadercast. My name is Craig Anderson. I am here every Thursday at noon Eastern. As we go through, would love to hear from you. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I'll be able to see them as they pop up here. If you're watching on replay, drop a hashtag replay, and I'll jump back in and answer any questions you have there. So as I said, my name is Craig Anderson. I'm the president of Clear Path Coaching and Consulting, and really focused on helping leaders build the confidence they need to successfully lead their business and to lead their teams and move into success without second guessing themselves, dealing with imposter syndrome, or the other challenges that we deal with as leaders, which leads us into today's topic, which is, do you have what it takes to be a leader? And this is a question that's important to me. I struggled with it. I don't know that it was always seen on the outside how much I struggled with it, but on the inside, as I was moving up through progressive leadership roles in my career, I really would wonder from time to time, a lot of times at 2 or 3 in the morning, do I have what it takes to be a leader? Do I have what it takes to communicate effectively? Do I have what it takes to make tough decisions, to have those crucial conversations that can be a challenge? And there was a lot of it that fed into me that just made me struggle every day. It might have been, and the people who worked for me could tell you, might have been very cool on the exterior, or maybe it showed, but it was always there and it was always lingering. So there are a few things I wanted to talk about today that are kind of core. These aren't the only things that matter about what it takes to be a leader, but these are 3 things that I think you should consider of what you need to focus on. We all have what it takes to be a leader. That's the trick. But how do we act on that? How do we manifest that? And how do we demonstrate that day to day as we go through our roles as a leader? So I'm going to talk about 3 things today. The first one I want to talk to you about is the idea of vision. Vision is such a crucial aspect of leadership, because if you don't know where you're taking people, it's hard to get them to come along. People want to know where we're going. People want to understand what the business is going to look like. I had the fortune of working for a few bosses in my career. I tell lots of stories about bad bosses or bad situations from time to time on here, but had great opportunities to work for different leaders who really did have that vision, who really understood where they wanted the business to go and can communicate that effectively to the team, to our clients. When you can have a good, solid vision of what your business is going to look like in 3 years, that's going to allow you to work backwards and say where we need to be at the end of 1, and to paint that picture for the team. Because when your team understands where the vision is going to go, 1, they can act a lot more independently. You're not constantly having to tell them what to do. They are going to be more engaged because they will see how their job aligns with that vision. And then that is ultimately going to pass along to their employees. It's going to pass along to your customers and other stakeholders in your business. So having the ability to generate a vision is a crucial piece of what it takes to be a leader. So that is one piece. And you can go back. We have different links in the blog where you can see some of the discussions we have about vision. Just go out to clearpathcoaches.com/blog, search in for vision. And I've written on this quite a few times. So jump into where you can develop an effective vision as a leader. The next piece that you're going to have to be able to do to be a successful leader is to build a great team around you. I was just having this conversation with a client yesterday who's moving into a new leadership role. And we talked about where his strengths are and where he brings benefit and power as a leader and as a person. But also, as you look at yourself and have a really good self-awareness of where you are as a leader and understanding your strengths and being really honest with yourself about that, that also begins to inform to you not only roles you have to fill on the team. I need a VP of this, I need a VP of that, a director of that on your leadership team, but also the kinds of skills and talents and thoughts. Like I do a lot of work with Core Values Index to help with team building, to really understand how I need to build the team. I'm very strong as an innovator in Core Values Index, but that means I need builders, I need merchants, I need bankers around me to help execute more effectively than I do, or focus on the team. I can build a team, but how do I really focus on the people? Those are things that I need support to make me a stronger leader. It's not abdicating responsibility. It's filling in the gaps on a team around you so you have a team that represents all the needs of the company. So if you ever want to talk more about that or any of the things I'm talking about today, jump in. You can see at the scroll at the bottom. I'd love to have a conversation with you. clearpathcoaches.com/intro call to set up a 15 to 30 minute discussion about where your challenges are as a leader. We can talk about Core Values Index. We can talk about creating vision. but building that great team around you that complements you where you need to be better and builds on, complements your weaknesses or maybe the areas where you're not as strong, not necessarily weaknesses. And then getting the right people in the right seats around you so that all aspects of the business are covered. So building that team, and that's also where vision is important, because that team needs to clearly understand that vision that you've got around you. And that's an important piece. So having the right team around you, I've had the benefit in my career of building really great teams around me that make the whole unit stronger. So that's an incredibly important piece as you go forward and understanding what it takes to be a leader. It takes vision. It takes the ability to build a great team around you. And then the last piece I want to talk about today is really just being honest with yourself around effort and around failure. I am not one of those people who glorifies failure. I think, look, given a choice, I would rather not fail. I'd rather succeed. Where I do agree on some of our focus on failure is that is an important thing, is what you do with failure. It's just like what you do with luck. What do you do with it? With failure, what do you learn from? So I had a younger leader that I was coaching, and they really were trying to do all they could on an issue for their team. This was a junior level leader. They couldn't necessarily make every decision based on what was going on about them, but they really fought hard for the best interests of their team and their group. And they didn't get what they wanted. And they felt like they had let down their team. But that's a valid feeling to have coming out of that. But the important thing for them to work on, and the important thing for them to understand, is what can I take away from that failure that I will be able to move forward and be more successful in the future. And that's really the key to it. Just like when you have a lucky break, what can I learn from that? And what do I do with that lucky break that I had in business or in my career? So mindset around failure, about learning from mistakes, about learning from what works and then trying to replicate that. That's an important component about what it takes to be a successful leader in any kind of an organization. So I really encourage you to focus on, for your development of your leadership skills and understanding if you have what it takes to be a leader. And again, here's the trick. We all have what it takes to be a leader. We just sometimes have to work harder to pull that out. And that's where we come in and helping you build that leadership confidence, or I come in to help you build that leadership confidence. So focus again on three things: is, can I create a compelling vision to get everybody built around? Can I build an effective team around me that complements and offsets where I'm not as strong, so I have a greater whole? And then three, how is my mindset around failure and success, and what I take away and I learn from those things? Those are three key building blocks around what it takes for you to be the leader that you aspire to be. So I would love to talk to you more about your individual personal situation. Shoot me an appointment. Just go to clearpathcoaches.com/intro call. You can go out there, find a time that works for you. We'll schedule that time and we'll talk through and bring some real value to you there. So that's it for this week. We will see you next week right here, Thursday at noon Eastern, on Clear Path Leadercast. Thanks, everybody.